Welcome to the Texas Go Radio Show. I'm your host, Pretorius. This is part 9 of this 1805 live stream by Owen Benjamin.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that Luis J. Gomez just doesn't understand how taxes work because his family has been impoverished, indigenous scum for thousands of years, just with their hands out begging any Blanco Diablo, De Niro, Blanco Diablo, por favor.
I really wish this dude would nut up or shut up as far as his comedy career is concerned. Sorry for that vulgar outburst. But what I mean is I wish that he would just go back into it. Go back into stand-up comedy. This platform obviously does not work for stand-up comedy, for working out bits, whatever. You're not in front of a live audience. Go to Kill Tony, dude. Owen Benjamin needs to go to Kill Tony. Call him up, write him an email, whatever. Say, hey, man, I'm not going to show up and put my name in on a piece of paper with 200 other wannabe comedians, but I will ask you if I can do a minute. Can I do a minute? And I would honestly be surprised if Tony Hinchcliffe told him no. Now, would other comedians possibly tell him to say no? Possibly. But I would honestly be surprised if Tony Hinchcliffe said no. And then say he did a good job. Say he did kill in that minute. Say he had a good, decent minute that made people chuckle and laugh. Put a smile on people's faces. If he did that a couple of times, he'd be able to get on the panel. The way Cam Patterson was on the panel not too long ago. And then he would be able to do his roast comedy the way he thinks that he claims to be a insult comic now just because he's a jerk wagon. But I don't think he's ever been a roast comedian. He just talks a lot of crap. Tony Hinchcliffe is a roast comedian. Why? Because he talks a lot of crap, but that crap is also funny. He says some funny stuff. Owen, not so much. I've never really laughed at Owen's roast comedy. Anyways, enough of that. All I'm saying is for him to actually make a comeback in stand-up comedy, besides the terrible, it was more terrible than I thought it was going to be. Noble Savage. But if he wants to, and I'm not against it. I'm honestly not against him coming back in stand-up comedy. What I'm against with Owen Benjamin is him being the predatorial, abusive, dangerous cult leader that he is. And he's a liar. He'll say, I'm just a comedian, guys. Don't take me too seriously. And then in the next breath, he'll say, well, I'm also a teacher. That's why people call me rabbi. Okay, that makes you a dangerous psychopath. Get out of here. If you're a comedian, be a comedian, dude. If not, then just embrace this cult thing that you've been doing for the last 6-7 years.
And so now that he has a functioning business and he makes money, I don't think he understands how taxes or how wars are paid for. Okay? What happens, Luis J. Gomez, is they say that a paraglider landed at a gay rave in the most militarized place in the world without being unmolested, through the Iron Dome, landed at a gay rave, and then they went around doing abortions for hours, grabbed a couple hostages, went on back to Gaza, went down into the tunnels, and then bombed their own hospital. Okay, that's what's being presented to us, and you have to be mentally fucking broken to not understand what's going on, all right? It's like that Kyneton, give me the fucking COVID video that I did where they went super viral when somebody put the Simpsons cartoon to it. When they were talking about, okay, so someone ate a bat at a market and blah, blah. I broke down the whole story of COVID as presented to us in 2020. It was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. This one's even dumber. They're like, okay, so we have the Gaza Strip dude, forget, okay. Israel's existed for 75, 80 years, and they claim that Palestine does not exist. Palestinians are not real. Okay? But
Quick question. Why would he not utilize his Niggle, his own personal Bible? Why would he not utilize that? He paid for the infrastructure, hopefully. Probably not, because he thoroughly enjoys. Dude, I started this off in like a really good mood, and I'm just like negative Nancy right now. Like I felt the expression on my face, the contents of my face change. Anyways, why would he not utilize Niggle? Why would he not have that just popped up on his laptop or whatever? And whenever you said, Connington, fucking do this, why wouldn't he just be like, hold on, let's just look this up real quick? He'd be able to plug his thing and not look like an insufferable D-bag.
these like white-looking, big-eared dipshits from Khazaria are the real, true people of the desert, not the brown people that look exactly like the people that would live in a desert. No. It's white-skinned, big-eared dwarves like Michael Malice and Dave Smith, who literally look like a Russian fucked or retarded Sicilian. They're actually the people that belong in Israel. So 1948, they come in there hat in hand. Oh, please, me and Mr. Mustache has turned us into soap and is masturbating us to death. And the Palestinians are like, oh, come on in, my brother. Come, sit by the fire, have some stew. Very quickly, they start killing them, taking their houses, all that shit, and pretending they've never existed. So now you have the Gaza Strip, which is surrounded by...
You ever wondered why you were born in a place that is 1,000 miles and a quadrillion gallons of water away from places? Maybe it's none of your concern what's going on over there. Honestly, it might not be any of your concern. You might not should have a single thought as to what is going on over there.
barbed wire.
Naturally, should you? No. Why do I say naturally should you? No. Naturally, 200 years ago, would you know what's going on over there? 300 years ago. Well, you could say, well, 300 or 400 years ago, you might not. You might just be over there. Yeah, but that's not the case.
They're not allowed to leave. They're not even allowed to fish because Israeli boats will like sink their boat and pretend that they were being attacked. Okay, so at this point, Israel is just absolutely annihilating all of these people. They have been for years. They took them out of where they are from and they moved them into basically a prison camp in the middle of the desert. And so these people don't want to leave. And so then they say these people have taken their own water pipes and made rockets out of it that goes through the most advanced technological dome protecting Israel in the world. And then they used a paraglider, and it was like Free Willy. You know, they went for it. It was like a fucking Pixar movie. They land, okay, none of the border protection notices at all. None of the guys with guns, none of the IDF, no cops, nobody, no men. And these guys just start raping because that's what you would do, right? You would just start raping and aborting unborn babies. It's fucking retarded. And then they didn't even get caught. So they're just going around beheading 40 unborn babies, according to Ben Shapiro, a guy with schizophrenia running through his family who has tried to lie America into several wars and been caught. And then they get some people and they leave with the people and they're like, we won't let you.
Kind of blew my mind that a person such as Owen Benjamin talks about somebody else's schizophrenia.
Have these people. And then everyone calls them Hamas, even though Hamas was a group started by the Israeli government to fight the PLO back in the day, okay? And funded and completely controlled. It's like so stupid.
Sounds really familiar. If you know the history of the United States government.
And so then they're trying to market this war in America so that we beat the war drums and go to World War III and bomb Syria and bomb Iran and fight. And so they put up missing persons pictures 8,000 miles away in another country. Why would they do that? That's just how evil they are, Big Bear. They're just so damn evil. No self-preservation at all. They're like, oh, now that we get in Israel, we are just going to kill an unborn baby. So they set up a Planned Parenthood and they just start doing abortions. And then all the Israelis are just huddled up going, oh, please.
I kind of understand what he's saying, but for him to pretend that pure evil does not exist, there is pure evil out there. There are people that are evil. They have no care, no want for self-preservation whatsoever. They are there to destroy. That's what they do. And to pretend that does not exist, you're doing a disservice to everyone around you.
No, not another abortion. And I drink your orange juice with a GoPro on my forehead, and I'll film all of it. And I'll go to the gay rave and I'll rape a girl and put her in my pickup truck that came over on the paraglider. And then I'm going to kill another baby. And then I'm going to kill a Holocaust survivor that's 150 years old. Here the IDF got slaughtered and going.
And that's another thing right there that I honestly... Every once in a while, depending on my mood, satire is funny. I get it. And I do get it. But in a world that is filled with people that are just flat out lying and misleading people intentionally in order for personal gain, people such as Owen Benjamin, I'm not a big fan of satire. I would rather you just say 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 1 is 2, A, B, C, D. That's it. Put the information out. If you can make the information funny, go for it. Nothing is off limits as far as humor. Make fun of everything and everybody, blah, blah, blah. Fair enough. But whenever people like this, who's sitting there just saying, all of this crap trying to make a point, just making crap up, where there's no truth, hardly any truth in what he just said. There's hardly any truth in what he just said. Talking about the GoPro, and I understand that he's trying to make fun, like, whatever. It's just, it overly complicates things whenever things are just complicated anyway, if that makes any sense. Anyway, this is the Texas Goat Radio Show, and I'm your host, Pretorius. As always, till next time.